If you are Tony Khan and AEW, you're probably looking at the news asking yourself, why can't we get ahead and why can't we put the negative press behind us? What do we have to do? If you guys have watched AEW television, primarily in the late stages of 2024 going on into 25, they produced some of the worst television that the company has ever produced in 5 years. It was only up until a couple of weeks ago where they started producing some decent television. Then on this past Wednesday's Dynamite, Thunder Rosa, Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford embarrassed fans across the world in what they did on Wednesday, and seemingly it's the only thing people are talking about coming out of what was a decent episode of AEW Dynamite. Now we come to find out that it's official. Ryan Nemeth is suing and files a lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk. Why? This is the most comedic lawsuit that I've ever read in my entire life, and today we're going to go over it right here on Off the Script. Let's take a look at this and read through this ridiculous lawsuit that at some points when I was reading it this morning, I legitimately laughed my ass off. As you see there, Ryan Nemeth files lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk. Ryan Nemeth has filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk. The lawsuit alleges assault, breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith, and fair dealing and intentional interference with prospective advantage. The lawsuit was filed on Valentine's Day. I love you, Tony. I love you, Punk, man. I love you guys. February 14th of 2025. Now, there is no case number assigned to this lawsuit, and it is not yet listed online. From the lawsuit, it reads, Ryan Nemeth is a successful actor, comedian, and stuntman. We're already lying in the first line of this lawsuit. If you guys want me to go pull up IMBD, this is everything that Ryan Nemeth has starred in. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Wanted Man, he played a zombie man. Iron Claw, he played Gino Hernandez. Obviously, you got Collision and Dynamite. Tune In With Me, uncredited, which was a TV series back in 2023. My Neighbors Are Dead, Ghost of Christmas, very near future. AEW Dark, AEW All Access, AEW Rampage, AEW Dark Elevation, The Me and You Show. Never heard of it. He played Lord Noodle, apparently. The Eric Andre Show, he played Buff Wrestler. Unleashed in 2020, he played a doggy drill instructor. AP Bio, Hunky Wrestler, uncredited. So the line where it said he was a successful actor and comedian, I think just was a tad bit on the embellishment side, man. I don't think Ryan Nemeth really started in anything you, me, or anybody else is very well aware of. Continuing on with the lawsuit here, Nemeth also followed his older brother Nick's career and has established himself as a star performer on the professional wrestling side. Yes, some star, man. I mean, holy shit, this guy is the most talked about guy in the pro wrestling space. Nemeth was under contract with AEW. AEW is owned by Shad and Tony Khan. Shad Khan is the owner of the NFL franchise Jacksonville Jaguars. When his son Tony managed to alienate most everyone within the Jaguars organization, including star NFL players, Tony was moved to a leadership role in the Khan family-owned Fulham Football Club. Tony ended up mismanaging Fulham, leading to multiple lawsuits against the club. Since he was a child, Tony loved professional wrestling and had an obsession with certain wrestlers. The Khan family formed AEW to provide Tony with something to do safely away from the family's other ventures. Tony serves as AEW's chief executive officer. Sounds like this was written by a fucking troll that you'd see on Twitter. I mean, this is all that we usually say. Tony's obsessed with so-and-so wrestlers. Tony wanted to be a pro wrestling promoter since he was a baby boy. I mean, it all goes back to what we discuss on a weekly basis when we're here criticizing AEW. It honestly sounds like this is already being written by one of those troll death to AEW accounts or something like that. Listen, I think we know exactly how Tony operates. We know exactly why Tony's in this thing. I can't really speak on Fulham. I can't. I don't know anything about that sport or what's going on there. Wouldn't be surprised. Tony being gifted AEW from his father to take him away from other ventures. Listen, I don't want to sit here and tell you it's true, but if there's any truth to that, it just coming from me, I would say that's partially the reason why his father continues to fund AEW. Phil Brooks was another wrestler under contract with AEW and a member of the AEW management team. AEW had, yes, he was, by the way, if you guys are saying, what? AEW management, CM Punk? Yes. He was, I don't want to say a creative force he was, but he was certainly a vice president of sorts. He was definitely in the same role that the Bucks and Omega were in, and the comments at the post-show media scrum during the all-out situation, which led to Brawl Out, he said, I'm trying to run a business. And these guys running around here, they can't manage a fucking target. So, yes, a lot of people picked up on that. Punk was certainly in a managerial role for All Elite Wrestling. Tony had a deep fascination with Brooks. Brooks undertook we all know that to be the case as well. Brooks took a campaign to terrorize and intimidate plaintiff, including physical assault. AEW and Tony Khan did nothing to protect Ryan Nemeth and other wrestling performers from despicable conduct on the part of Brooks. AEW turned a blind eye to Brooks' conduct because of Tony's deep admiration for Brooks and because he was their most popular wrestling performer. I mean, was this fucking lawsuit written by the Young Bucks? I mean, holy shit. AEW turned a blind eye to Brooks' conduct at Brooks and Tony's insistence. AEW and Tony Khan have undertaken an effort to blackball Nemeth so we can never see him work in the wrestling business again. Now, that's not anywhere close to being true at all, because he's now working with, in some eyes, according to some fans, the second hottest promotion in all of pro wrestling, and that is TNA. If he was blackballed and Tony had the power to blackball him from every promotion, Ryan Nemeth wouldn't be working anywhere right now. Tony doesn't have that power, and Ryan Nemeth has included yet another lie or another fabrication in this lawsuit, which is ridiculous. 14. At all relevant times mentioned herein, Brooks was also an employee of AEW, serving in a role as executive leadership, which we all know to be true. In early 2023, Brooks assaulted and battered two fellow wrestlers known by stage names Matt and Nick Jackson. First of all, whoever wrote this up got it wrong. Early 2023, false. Brawl Out took place in the summer of 22. So why are we already getting dates wrong and years wrong? The timeline of this is already fucked up. Just to point that out to you guys. Brooks assaulted and battered two fellow wrestlers known by the stage names of Matt and Nick Jackson. Brooks is known to have an uncontrollable temper and often lashes out in violent tirades against others. 16. Rather than removing Brooks from the AEW roster of wrestlers, Tony made the decision to merely suspend Brooks for a few months. So after Brawl Out, which they already got the year wrong, after Brawl Out, he was suspended, but in nowhere is it described in this lawsuit that Phil Brooks had torn a tricep and was out for 7 to 8 months. So the primary reason why he was out was because of his injury. Yes, he was suspended, but he was also out for injury, and the injury probably would have superseded the suspension, which is not mentioned in this lawsuit. So they suspended Mr. Brooks for a few months. Brooks is one of AEW's most popular wrestlers, and Khan did not feel that Brooks could be removed without a substantial loss in profit for AEW. Now, Tony didn't want to fire him because of the star power that he brought the company and the amount of money he was spending to bring CM Punk into the company, and the fact that Warner wanted it. They were going to give him a new show. TV deal was probably being negotiated. Tony had a lot of reasons why he didn't want to fire outright CM Punk. But again, the injury again superseded everything that Ryan Nemeth is saying here. So Tony wasn't going to fire him after Brawl Out. Tony saw that his man was injured and there was nothing that he could do about it. He was not going to fire his biggest investment while he was out injured. That was never going to happen. 17. Beyond his deep feelings for Brooks, Khan represented to AEW executives and wrestlers that the TBS network had produced the AEW Collision show contingent upon Brooks' involvement as the show's star. This was all the more reason for Khan to keep Brooks in spite of his violent propensities. Okay, we know why Collision was created, and it was created because Warner wanted it, AEW needed more TV time, CM Punk, the leader and the star of Collision, it all made sense. It all made sense. Plus, again, the TV rights deal, which was probably being negotiated, and the amount of money that they were paying CM Punk, they needed to get some return on their investment. And the show was also created in ways to keep everybody separate. Phil Brooks would be on one show, CM Punk would be on one show, and then the Bucks and whoever they want would be on the other show. So we got an official yet unofficial brand split of sorts, soft brand split between Dynamite and Collision, because CM Punk was on one show and the Bucks would run the other show. 18. During his suspension, for unknown reasons, Brooks made it known that he despised Nemeth. Nemeth did nothing to Brooks whatsoever, but Brooks made it well known that he was angry with Nemeth. Brooks had a notorious history for taking violent action against others for no reason. We don't really know. That just seems like a really, really, really big stretch, an over-exaggeration of sorts by Ryan Nemeth here. 19. On April 16, 2023, Nemeth contacted executives within AEW to tell his employer that he was worried about Brooks and that he would come back to the wrestling circuit following his suspension and assault Nemeth. So again, I don't know why Nemeth is making himself out to be, what do they call that? They call that like star of the show, or he's got some real narcissistic syndrome to himself. Who the fuck is coming back and having a thought about Ryan Nemeth? Honestly, in all good faith, who is coming to the building? And if you're CM Punk, why would your first order of business, your first priority be like, I gotta go see what Ryan Nemeth is up to? No, that's not the case at all. On June 21, 2023, following Brooks' return to the wrestling circuit, he assaulted Nemeth, which that's not the case. He didn't he didn't put his hands on Nemeth at all. He assaulted Nemeth in the male talent locker room. In a menacing manner, Brooks shouted at Nemeth, "Do we have a fucking problem? Do we need to step outside and handle this like men?" Nemeth was cornered by Brooks and did everything he could in order to de-escalate the situation. So, in nowhere did I read in this lawsuit that Punk assaulted Ryan Nemeth. Words, and in this non-physical matter, I don't consider this assault. This is just someone shouting with angry words. That's not assault. Assault would be putting hands on somebody, throwing a punch at somebody, physical contact with somebody. This is not assault. And I find it funny how he says he did everything to de-escalate the situation. Meanwhile, this guy had gone on social media before all this, and the reason why all this started anyways, because he went and was a lackey for the Bucks and was basically used as a scapegoat to go on social media and say CM Punk is the softest man alive. Yet he shows up here and then wants to de-escalate the situation. So who exactly is the softest man alive? If you go on social media like a troll, like everybody else does, talks shit, and then when you're in the face of the guy that you talk shit about on social media, then you try to de-escalate the situation. And then blatantly bullshit, saying that you were assaulted. Meanwhile, oh, CM Punk threw some nasty words at me. Oh, my God. You got to be fucking kidding me. 21, the next day, Nemeth was contacted by Tony Schiavone and other executives from AEW to explain what happened. Nemeth calmly and factually explained. I mean, I've seen a lot of things that weren't really factual in this fucking lawsuit, so I don't know how we could say anything's factually explained. Nemeth calmly and factually explained that he was attacked by Brooks in the locker room. Again, he was not attacked. A grown man to another grown man shouting words is not attack. Bullshit. 22. Following the assault, nothing happened to Brooks as far as punishment from AEW. Why would it? He didn't do anything wrong. 23. It is well known in the wrestling industry that benching a wrestler is a form of punishment. That is, the wrestling performer is not scheduled for a match and thus is not paid. Benching a wrestler is not a customary manner of punishing a wrestler. We all know that to be true. Tony has done this with several others, not only just Ryan Nemeth. 24. Following the incident with Brooks, Nemeth greatly feared being benched by AEW. Nemeth spoke with AEW's in-house counsel and attorneys from Latham and Watkins, outside counsel for AEW. All of the attorneys promised that Nemeth would not be benched. Do you really want me to pull up the cagematch.net? Because I certainly will. So this is cagematch.net. This is Tony's favorite website, analytic website. I use this website a lot to take my notes for House of Glory and just figure out things that I don't really know, get some stats and some historical data whenever I need to talk about something. And in this case, we're going to look at Ryan Nemeth's AEW career. I got his entire match catalog pulled up here. You see the pink on the left side? That is dark matches or non-televised matches. The green is Dynamite, Collision, or anything that we see on TV at that time. Rampage, any one of the major shows for AEW that appear on TBS and TNT. And then we see nothing here. If there's nothing but a blank, that means it was at a Jericho cruise or an indie show or something non-televised. So we'll go back here. Obviously, he was a part of the Wingmen during the pandemic era. So in 21, he was on TV, but a lot of this, you see a lot of this was AEW Dark. A lot of it was AEW Elevation. So he wasn't really someone featured on TV. We have to go here, 3/2/2022. That's March 2nd, 2022. AEW World Tag Team Title, #1 contendership, Casino Tag Team Royale. He was in that. That was on Dynamite 126 at Daly's Place. We got to go all the way to 8/5/22, where he wrestled Takeshita on Rampage episode 52, and he lost in 1 minute and 41 seconds. Then we go to a TNT title match. This seems like forever ago. 8/24/22, Ryan Nemeth loses to Wardlow in 1 minute and 31 seconds. So at this point, All Out, Brawl Out had not happened yet. We pick it up. Dark, 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 dark. All of it's AEW Dark. Then we see the next TV appearance for him is February 8th, 2023. Jack Perry defeats Ryan Nemeth in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Then we go more dark, 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 dark. Then we get to a Ring of Honor Tag Team Title, #1 contendership Battle Royal. So I don't really understand how he feels he's been blackballed from television or benched from television. The guy was primarily a AEW Dark wrestler. And then when AEW Dark went away, you could see exactly when AEW Dark went away. We didn't get it anymore after this. 1/28/23. That was it. And we got in February. Here, look, we got all these. It went away in the beginning of 2023. It went away. He was primarily used as a dark wrestler or an elevation wrestler. He was not ever meant to be a main stage wrestler on Collision or Rampage or Dynamite. He was given a role, and that was it. And here he is thinking that he was owed these opportunities, that Punk took these opportunities away for him. He was benched. You were not benched. Your show got canceled, and they didn't need you on television anymore. It's not because of CM Punk and them benching you. They didn't need you anymore. And who's to say that you couldn't go out and get independent dates? You're under AEW contract. Go to Tony Khan and say, hey, boss man, I want to work so-and-so indie. I want to work this show, that show, this show, that show. He probably would have had no problem you working indie dates. So the fact that you think that they benched you, again, goes back to the narcissistic attitude that Ryan Nemeth has had throughout this entire lawsuit so far. Picking up with the lawsuit here, number 25. Following his June 22nd conversation with Tony Schiavone, Nemeth was not booked for a match for over 2 months. Dark got canceled. That's all you were used for, brother. That's all you were used for. Who's to say you couldn't go out and work indies like I just previously mentioned? Bullshit. You were used as a jobber, and that is all they saw you as. You would never appear on Dynamite or Collision because you never were given that type of status within the company where you deserved to be in anything more than dark or dark elevation. Because Nemeth was not booked for matches, his income stream from AEW dried up. More importantly, his popularity, folks, and marketability faded from being absent from the professional wrestling circuit. Whose choice was that? That was your choice. On June 17th, 2023, Nemeth again contacted AEW's legal department to complain that he was being punished for doing nothing. It was then that Nemeth discovered the real reason why he was being benched. Brooks had insisted upon this. 28, because Tony Khan had such deep admiration for Brooks, bordering on an obsession, Khan went along with Brooks' desires to ruin Nemeth's career. So you mean to tell me that they came to the building every fucking week and had a desire to ruin Nemeth's career? Oh, man, we got to ruin Nemeth's career. Never mind getting this fucking brand new show on track so that we as a company look great to David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason. Sure thing, guy. Moving on. 29, on August 12th, 2023, Nemeth was finally booked at an event in Greensboro, North Carolina. On the morning of August 12th, Nemeth was walking through the hotel lobby to board a shuttle to the sports arena where the wrestling match would take place. He saw Phil Brooks. Brooks immediately took out his phone and began to text. 31, a moment after that text was sent, Nemeth received a text from AEW supervisor Pat Buck saying that he needed to speak with Nemeth as soon as he got to the arena. Upon arriving at the arena, Nemeth sought out Pat Buck. Buck told Nemeth that he needed to leave the arena immediately and that travel would be arranged for him to fly out the same day. Nemeth was embarrassed and humiliated in front of other wrestlers who witnessed him being kicked out of the arena. More importantly, fans observed him leaving the arena. Pictures were taken and expulsion became viral on social media. This humiliation caused irreparable damage to the marketability and reputation of Nemeth. I don't remember seeing a fucking picture at all. I don't remember seeing anything said about Ryan Nemeth. I didn't see one fucking picture. I didn't see one. Does Ryan Nemeth even have fans to take pictures and go viral with on social media? This is all a fabrication of a narcissistic human being. There's nothing that even comes remotely close to what we are reading here that happened online. Nothing. This is a fucking comedy show. I swear to God, man, this was written by one of them death to AEW accounts for sure. This entire episode was engineered by Brooks. Brooks demanded that Nemeth be told to leave and that he would be flown out of Greensboro immediately. Khan, for his part, went along with Brooks out of his deep admiration. On August 15, 2023, Nemeth contacted AEW's legal group and complained about being ejected from the event at the direction of Brooks. AEW lawyers were themselves stunned and could offer no explanation for the conduct of Brooks and Khan. On November 18, 2024, Nemeth wrestled for the last time in AEW. Again, that date is wrong. Nemeth wasn't even with the fucking company in November of 2024. There was no Ryan Nemeth on AEW. That's complete fucking bullshit. Who wrote this up? That you can't even get dates right. Ryan Nemeth wasn't even with the fucking company in November of 2024. Nemeth, number 37, continued to follow up with AEW's legal department in the hope of trying to resolve this situation and to avoid further conflict. In a bizarre email, AEW attorney Chris Peck reached out and threatened legal action against Nemeth and accused him of employing a ghostwriter in his emails. On November 25th, 2024, Phil Brooks left AEW to wrestle for the organization's main competitor, WWE. By my calculations, chat, November 25th, 2024, Phil Brooks had already wrestled for WWE for a full calendar year, or at least was with the company for a full calendar year. That happened back in 2023. Again, they can't even get their fucking time frame right. He was already with the company. Survivor Series was about to happen, and he was going to wrestle Drew McIntyre, or actually Survivor Series. He wrestled Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood. He was already entering War Games at that point. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Number 39, Tony Khan was heartbroken by the departure of Brooks, his idol, and that he adored in every way. It's like he's writing a love story between Tony Khan and CM Punk. Khan was furious with Nemeth. Khan believes that Brooks left AEW because of Ryan. Yes, yes, Phil Brooks was fired because of Ryan Nemeth. Or Ryan Nemeth was fired because of Phil Brooks. You fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Absolutely ridiculous. Khan believes that Brooks left AEW because of Ryan Nemeth. Are you absolutely fucking that deranged to put that in the lawsuit? Number 41, the defendants have embarked upon a campaign to blackball Nemeth from professional wrestling, which is factually untrue. He's already wrestling for TNA and has wrestled in other promotions along the way since he left AEW. So no, Tony doesn't have the power to blackball you from other wrestling promotions. You are contractually employed now to TNA Wrestling. Specifically, Tony blames Nemeth for Brooks leaving AEW, false, and has used his significant resources to make sure that Nemeth can never again make a living in wrestling. False. False. Number 42, the conduct of each of the defendants was malicious in that defendants intended to cause injury to the plaintiff. Defendants acted willfully and with a conscious disregard for the rights of the plaintiff. Folks, this is absolutely. I don't really understand it, man. I swear to God, I don't really understand what we're reading here. This entire lawsuit is nothing more than a complete scam. It's nothing more, literally the most comedic thing I've ever read in months. Secondly, Ryan Nemeth can't even get his facts straight. He can't even get his timeline right. Dates and months and situations. He can't get anything right. Everything just seems so off. The fact that he believes Tony is blaming him for Phil Brooks leaving the company. Tony did everything that he needed to do to get CM Punk out of the company. As if Rollout didn't happen, as if Jack Perry's situation didn't happen, as if Tony didn't address the live fucking audience on Saturday Night's Collision the same week that it happened. the Jack Perry situation, I feared for my life. The reason why Tony Khan got rid of CM Punk is because he thought he was a hindrance to the company and the backstage environment in AEW. You can't go around fucking putting your hands on coworkers. You can't do that. So Tony made the decision then, which he thought was right then, to get rid of CM Punk. Ryan Nemeth had nothing to do with CM Punk being fired from AEW. Nothing. Nothing. As far as I read, CM Punk had nothing to do with Ryan Nemeth. This is simply a man using Phil Brooks' name and AEW as a company and Tony Khan as a company to get a quick payday. That's all he wants. He feels like he could get a settlement out of this or a quick payday, and I genuinely feel that Ryan Nemeth, whatever his fascination is with fucking AEW at this point, CM Punk don't even work there anymore. He don't work there anymore. So why are you bringing this upon him? You're not with the company. He's not with the company. Why go through all the legal bullshit to prove a fucking point? He wants to get paid. And I genuinely feel in his fucking sick and demented mind, he wants this to go to a courtroom where Tony would have to be exposed and open up to talk about the brawl out situation. And you know AEW will never talk about the brawl out situation because Tony has done everything in his power, humanly possible, to not divulge and not reveal things that happen backstage in AEW because every single fucking thing is hidden away by an NDA. Ryan Nemeth thinks in his sick and twisted mind that if he gets Tony into a courtroom because of this fucking farce of a lawsuit, that he'd have to open up about the brawl out situation and discuss things that led into brawl out and things that happened after brawl out in regards to CM Punk. This is Ryan Nemeth wanting nothing more than a quick payday. It's a fucking comedy show. I mean, this may be the greatest comedy bit he's ever written and performed. Honestly, he wants to label himself as a comedian. There you go. He's absolutely a fucking comedian because this entire lawsuit is a complete fucking farce. I wanted to get this out there, laugh at it a bit, give you guys the details and how wrong the dates were and just how ridiculous this all sounds. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you enjoyed this video, sound off in the comments down below. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes today on Off the Script. And I will see you guys live tonight for the Monday Night Raw post show. It is the Elimination Chamber Go Home show for Monday Night Raw, and we'll be live tonight on YouTube and all other platforms right here for the Off the Script post show for the Monday Night Raw live stream. I'll see you guys then.